This is another segment of King Arthur, where we chat with writers from the fringes of the literary world. Now your host, Chuck Wiley. Welcome to another episode with Chuck Wiley. Now people, I know we get lots of info and stuff we already knew, but it's very rare to get information on something we don't. Here to enlighten us further in life with cutting-edge research is a great guy, and I'm a supporter of him, Dr. Francis LemonJuice. Dr. Francis LemonJuice is the author of many popular texts such as Defending My Research, Foolproof Thesis, I Don't Lie, and Cutting Corners for the Right Reasons. Doc Lemon here had mysteriously vanished from society, but has returned from the graveyard with a new book, Touchdown Research. So welcome to the show, Lemon.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Chuck. It was really kind of you to invite me on your program to talk about my new book, Touchdown Research.
So tell us a little bit about your life.
Oh, yes. Well, let's see. At the beginning, I received my doctorate in, 1967 from North Scotia Community University. My dissertation, providing medical rhetoric and theoretical meetings with unknown strangers, became widely popular in all academic circles, and that somehow started my career as a public speaker and later government consultant.
Wow! Francis, that sounds mighty credible.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, in 1977, I was awarded a grant to conduct top secret research in the wilderness of Alaska.
Huh. I see, I see. But you know, Doctor, I was flipping through your book, and then came back to the front title page. And then I flipped to the next page. I noticed your research was copyrighted in 1995. Why the frickin' wait?
I have a confession, Mr. Wiley. I'm ashamed to admit this, but from 1980 through 2010, I had a strange bout. I was, for all intents and purposes, disconnected.
Well, hold up, Doc. When you say you were disconnected, what exactly do you mean?
Well, Chuck, it started very gradually and just seemed to snowball the more time passed. First off, I moved to Alaska where no one knew me, so I have no friends. In addition, I forgot to tell my friends where I was going to be living. I also later realized I didn't notify any of my relatives. Only the government knew where it was, understandably, for the research. But, you know, those first few years of research were really productive. Got a lot of feedback from the vice president. But then, Chuck, I just started to let go.
Let yourself go? What do you mean? Did you piss it? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, if you read my book, you'll find out I underwent a sort of transformation in the wilderness after meeting the ghosts of Marx. Chuck, I converted to a Buddhistic, nihilistic paradigm.
So wait, did you join the priesthood?
No, please. Let me clarify, Chuck, because I know this may be confusing to the American people out there, but in short, I became a quasi-materialist.
What, dude?
Yes, I lost interest in my research simply because I didn't let it go. So because of my new principles, I wasn't able to conduct business as usual. So first I started slipping on my bills to the Bell Atlantis phone company, so they cut me off from the outside. I ran out of paper for my fax, so I was never updated. My typewriter's ink went dry, so the pages stayed blank, just like my mind. I should have gotten more supplies, and I didn't. The ghost of Marx told me to stop being so money hungry. He informed me I should put all the money back in the river. So I did. And getting gas was not an option either after I lost my keys. So, in short, I became somewhat stranded, and no one really knew I existed anymore.
But Lemon, what if the Gov? Don't they care?
Well, Chuck, because of my inability to communicate with the outer realm, the government got pretty fed up with me. I couldn't send them any documents. I couldn't return their calls, and I forgot to acknowledge their past advice on getting a voicemail machine. It was a denial thing, unfortunately, and Congress was pretty steamed, and little did I know later that my funding had been cut in 1987.
But wait, Lemon, you said your research continued until 2010. Why'd you still think it was on?
Well, listen, Chuck, you don't understand. I was out of touch for 30 years. I don't even know what year it was. I stopped receiving calendars. All my magazine subscriptions were canceled because I didn't renew them. The local paper went out of business because the town I was living in became unincorporated. I had no paper media and no postman.
That sounds pretty harsh, brother. So give us some insight on what it's like to be out of touch for decades.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, I can imagine. I too had a very similar experience. During my previous marriage, I rarely communicated with my wife. We were disconnected on a spiritual and romantic level. We lived in separate dwellings, but I hadn't even seen her for multiple years and I didn't even know. I lost touch with my kids because she took my phones. So like you, LemonJuice, I too can be out of touch. We can all be out of touch sometimes here in America. But it's okay. We'll be able to move on from the storm we don't remember.
Huh, interesting. I'll have to do some research on that. But in all seriousness, you have to understand, Chuck, I was truly oblivious to my personal time warp. Most people are just not as out of touch as I am because they are simply too attached to a first-dimensional reality.
Okay, Lemon, I understand that the research quality had gone down quite a bit due to your unforeseen lifestyle. How did you recoup the decaying research?
Well, I had to renew the research through natural implements. First, I used cave paintings to understand how I was feeling, stone chiseling to timetable and calculate the collapse of information. I etched onto bark to remember what I am, a researcher. And finally, the stone tablets allowed me to still document the research in progress.
All right, LemonJuice, stop printing the fables. I've been sniffing around your bio, and I sense horse dung.
No, it's all true, Chuck. I will defend my story.
Yeah, okay. Well, what'd you live on out there, snow and bark? Get real. You would have perished within a month, you bag of nuts.
No, Chuck. You don't freaking understand here, okay? Just because you're out of touch does not mean you cannot take care of yourself. I'm not in a wheelchair, sir. I can research on my feet. And that is what sustained me all of those years.
Oh, yeah. I think I did read something about that being possible. I suppose your medical situation is plausible. Forgive me, sir.
I'm glad you understand now, Chuck. Now, as time went on, I was able to piece together the scraps of my long-neglected research. It felt too good to remember to get back on track. After being a mister many months of sitting on my sofa, I somehow concocted an analytical essay. I fell back in with my true love, research. I was truly whipped.
There's a lesson, folks. The first step is to admit you have a problem. The second step is to solve your problem. How did that go for you, Lemon?
Oh, well, I am published, as you know.
Flawless defense, foolproof. Just like your previous book. Now on sale at bookbugs.com. Use the promo code CW Research for a low-quality discount on any of Dr. Juice's fine works. Remember, kiddies, reading is always a pleasure. It's just like vegetables for the brain. So grow up and read research, you don't.
So I completed my research paper and was faced with another dilemma. Truly dark one, getting back in touch with the nation. Or should I continue my comfortable life of obscurity? But I decided the government was owed a few copies for their personal use. So I started a new journey to re-assimilate into American culture. And boy, must I say, I was quite scared by the discoveries I was making. Upon realizing the town was now vacant, I was led to believe that my first thesis was that I was the last living soul on Earth.
Weird. I think I read something like that. So what happened next?
Well, fortunately, the idea was quickly debunked when a truck driver picked me up just 10 minutes later, and my panic subsided because I was relieved that my research still had an audience instead of just me. So at this point, my out-of-touch state was fading ever so slightly. I made the pilgrimage to Anchorage and called the White House. The number I had was no longer in service, so next I called my family and they came and picked me up.
Wowzers, man! That is a miracle first rate. Were they enthralled to see you, dude?
Yes, it was a pleasure getting back in touch with my American heritage. But then after a few weeks of recovering from my self-induced amnesia due to being out of touch for the last 20 years, as you know, I submitted my long-awaited research findings. It was a relief to have that 20-year research problem off my plate. However, years later, I got a call from the G. Bush admin. They were mighty anxious to get my research still. I was shocked. As it turned out, I had not sent the research at all as I thought. My memory was not as sharp as it once was in the wilderness. In addition, I could not locate the research amongst my current possessions. I then concluded my mind had fooled me. And then revelations of fun cuts, project cancellation, and general ignorance came to light on my part. My vanity as an expert was utterly shattered. My authority had expired, and none of my friendly colleagues took me seriously anymore because they forgot who I was and the research I stood for. Finally, after awakening from a deep nap, Chuck, I recalled I had left behind all the research materials and my personal belongings at the cabin. So I had to go back to the frontier just one more time.
We have a caller into the program.
Yeah, dude, what happened next, man?
Well, if you let me continue my research, I'll be getting to that shortly.
That's great, Doc. I've been listening really closely, and for the record, I love to nibble on lemon seeds with my berries. Catch you later, dudes.
It's always an honor to hear from our favorite rat-faced listener, the Honorable Gino Clean. Thanks for the call, dude. So yes, Lemon, answer the rodent's damn question.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, it's all in my book, but yeah, sure, I'll keep talking. So I went back to my cabin, and apparently I left my campfire going all those years ago, and I burned the house down. I committed self-arson on my research and personal identity.
What, Lemon? So there was no longer research?
Well, hold on. Now, I did not say that, sir. As you know, I do not lie. I was out of touch, but I was able to piece together limited amounts of charred documents. The rest, however, I had to undergo self-hypnosis to recreate the research experience. As for personal documents, I got in touch with the Gov about that. Since I had not submitted the research, their willingness to help me was quite limited. Their solution for helping me solve this problem was to send me a elaborate jigsaw puzzle of my personal identity, which was formatted as a board game. And let me tell you, people, you would not believe how long it took me to play through this. Quite a few months. To begin, I had to use a decoder ring just to find my social security number. I resorted to the Ouija section after going down a slide and collecting some cash in the game. to file my tax return information of many years past. I had to get to the end of the board just to find out my birthday, and I unfortunately forgot my birthday again, so I had to replay it once again. Because, rules and all. But I'm very grateful that they did this. It was very educational, fun, and helped me on my road to recover my mental prowess.
Let me tell you, Lemon, I've tasted your story, and it's sour. You sold me limes. I needed lemons. It's like you got sent to jail in Monopoly, dude. That's scumbag shit. You lied like an American traitor committing perjury. I served my country for 2 years in the reserves. I was needed to take the silver bullet for real true American heroes. Unlike myself, I should have died for my country. What have you done? You squandered tax money and research to save no lives, and it's definitely ruined yours. What have you to say, Lemon Skull?
Oh, Mr. Wiley, I simply have to disagree with you on just one point you made. Chuck, I'm not a liar. I have had personal struggles in my research lifestyle. I thought you understood. Haven't you been listening to my Out of Touch saga?
Yeah. Not impressed, though. Barely read the book, douche.
Well, now hold on. Guess what, goofball? I'm not done. The tale is continued in the final chapter of my book. However, because I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to leave you the last 3 pages of canon here. Now, listen clearly, people. This is how my story ends. Still out of touch, but very much published, I was able to compile all the previous data and reflect on my decades of disillusioned existence. I am very proud of this text, Touchdown Research. But let me say I am even more pleased to announce a new, authorized, uncensored, fully unhidden document revealing edition of this book, now retitled American Football Folklore. Is it valuable or not? This breakthrough achievement of research will silence slanderous critics and deceptive sorcerers from trying to hold me back by discounting the research due to me being out of touch. It's full of lessons, a memoir, and research findings all in one. This heartfelt tale, now formatted as an avant-garde, peer-reviewed science mystery thriller novel, is sure to inspire many future generations of mentally displaced researchers who are simply out of touch with mainstream American socioeconomic values due to political puppetry of their own research.
Lemon, if I read that as a review in the New York Penny Saver, I'd become impressed again. But from you, I doubt the sincerity. Do I believe you? I don't know.
Well, don't believe everything you read unless you listen to a podcast of me reading my book. But in all sincerity, I actually feel quite happy where I'm living. I decided to move back to the cabin side where I could get back in my bubble and feel safe. Unfortunately, my extended family chose not to join me, and I have now since lost touch with them again. I hope they are listening today so that they know I'm still out here. I hope they read my research and understand everything I've been through.
Well, what can I say, brother? I don't like you, Lemon, but I thank you strongly for coming on the program and providing a provocative portrayal of your lost years. I'll give you a damn good recommendation, pal. I wish you the best of luck in your future research. No hard feelings. Smell you later.
Thanks again for having me, Chuck. It was quite important. Bye now.